Well. What is going on tonight, ladies and gentlemen? Do we have our running shoes on? Well. Hold on. Well. Do we have our running shoes on? Because we are taking a victory lap. It's Dave Neal. And we have a breaking news update here at the Rush Hour Podcast Studio. Ding, ding, ding. Justice has served. Breaking on a Friday evening. I'm hearing words used. Let me tell you the word. I'm hearing words used to describe what we are witnessing here. A grassroots movement. Thanks to you guys in the chat. No need to buckle up. This is a victory lap. And we don't need to be buckled for a victory lap. Unbelievable. I'm hearing this words. He got decimated. Ding dong. The bitch is dead. Not really. But, as far as her court case. And we don't want anyone to be dead. We just want truth to be served. We want justice. That's all we've wanted all along, right? We're going to do a tweet campaign to Rachel Mitchell tonight. Hey, cat lady jumping in. Ain't no party like a rejected appeal party. Wow. You guys are fantastic. Hold on, let me get set up. I'm still, I wasn't prepared. I don't know if you guys noticed. This is the first day I shaved in like 2 years. I just shaved. I don't know why. I just felt like shaving. All I needed to do was shave, and next thing you know, we're winning appeals. I'm told it's a good one. Bruce, congratulations to my van partner in life. I told Tasha, I said, honey, I got to go take a victory lap. And she said, I know, get out of here. She said, go on, get out of here. Denied. Sit down, good sir. Sit down. I got group chats. I got victims. I got group chats of victims. I got fireworks. Look at that. I got fireworks right there coming. I got fireworks. Holy shit, this is huge. I didn't know. Thank you for sharing. People are saying I'm going to write Rachel Mitchell another email tonight. Yeah, I'm live now, and we'll be doing a tweet campaign to RM momentarily. All right, that's right. Oh, Timothy with $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Finally, good news indeed. Denied, said Winks. Denied. Where's my gavel? Denied. And apparently, not just denied, decimated. Ladies and gentlemen of the Justice for Clayton community, this is 1,000% thanks to you guys. I don't have anyone hopping on. I have nobody hopping on, but I am here. So we will do this. I'll tell you what, let's do this. We're going to read the filing, but let me see if I don't know if anything's set up here. See, yeah, it's not even set up. Hold on a second. Let me just, I wasn't prepared. I didn't know we were going to have a Friday evening thing to do, but here we are. So let me go to my secondary display and let's go to Twitter. So, what should we say here? Let's just say this. I'm going to ask for retweets here. Breaking news. Breaking news in Maricopa County. Laura Owens appeal denied. Justice for Clayton will be best served if Laura faces consequences for her actions. We know Rachel Mitchell is investigating we wait with hope that justice will be served for the fraudster. Not just for Clayton, justice for Mike. And Greg Woodnick. Greg Gillespie, Clayton Echard, Greg Woodnick. Breaking news in Maricopa County, Laura Owens' appeal denied. Justice for Clayton will be best served if Laura faces consequences for... okay, that's good enough. If we need more, we'll do more. All right, there it is. Okay, good. So if anyone wants to retweet that... yeah. Stephanie said, time for Greg to appeal his order of protection. Michelle said, when's the documentary set to drop? Well, there's multiple things in the works with that. Don't have an answer for it, but I will be on top of it. Like, I will continue to be reporting and letting you guys know. Thank you guys for reposting this. I'm seeing the retweets come in right now. Thank you, Just Jen, for reposting. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you so much to Clayton's Justice for all the work they do. And we are live. We are live. So we have it right here. In the Arizona Court of Appeals, Division 2, Laura Owens, petitioner, appellant, the Clayton Echard, Bachelor, former NFL star, hip-hop sensation. Can we get Clayton Echard on Dancing with the Stars? Hold on. We got to get him on some more reality TV. I mean, like, so it would have been so nice if they mentioned this when he was on The Bachelor a few nights ago. So I'm told her case was decimated by the judges. Are we prepared? I don't want to start unless you're ready. Is everyone ready? Say aye. Love Monica with $5 super chat. So who is Clayton? Please don't block me for asking. Oh boy. Oh boy. Monica. Why would we block you? Let's do this. Clayton Echard. Here we are. So Clayton Echard was the Bachelor, and he was accused of being pregnant with a lady's unborn twins. She faked the pregnancy. She faked cancer with a previous person. She faked ultrasounds. She did a lot of crazy things. And we've been following this case. Oh, that's Clayton. We need justice for Clayton. So if you're new here because of the Baldoni stuff, I assure you, this blows it out of the water. And speaking of blowing things, as it turns out, the only intercourse had by Laura and Clayton was of a throat variety. That's right. She blew him twice. We were entangled in this due to our coverage. Our audience, Love Monica, welcome to the show. Our audience doubled down. We called bullshit. We hung in there. We dealt with all of the slurs. All of them. They came from all over. We took the shots. We exerted all of the energy we had on the internet. And we got justice for Clayton Echard. On June 10th, 2024, Laura Owens lost her case. About $150,000, paying the court fees. The only thing she's admitted to in this entire case is that she lied to me because we got a cold, hard proof she lied and committed medical fraud. 2 blows for Laura. 2 blows. That's going to be our new salute. 2 blows for Laura. And then you all say 2 blows. Okay, so I'm going to say 2 blows for Laura, and then you guys all say 2 blows. Ready? 2 blows for Laura. 2 blows. Okay, good. We found a Fiverr baby. Thank you, Devaney Fellish. We found a Fiverr logo. We found a logo of the Fiverr logo on an ultrasound. We did it all.
Pregnant at that time, and
she lied and faked. That's her fake belly she wore to court. You can see her adjusting it.
Pregnant at that
Photoshop belly pics.
time, and she lied.
Chugging Monster energy drinks while she's pregnant. Shouldn't do that. 2 blows for Laura. 2 blows.
Pregnant at that time.
And then here are the fake ultrasounds she sent. This one on the bottom right here actually has the Fiverr logo in it. You can actually see Fiverr. And she sent these fake ultrasounds.
Lied to Judge Gail Ketsis in that proceeding, then I think that's sanctionable.
That's Greg Woodnick. He's got brass balls. Greg Woodnick was the lawyer for both Clayton Echard and her previous victim she lied about, Greg Gillespie. By the way, Laura Owens has 3 restraining orders against 3 different men.
I could enter orders under that proceeding, so I'm asking Your Honor to take jurisdiction, but to hear that matter concurrently.
And so here we are where she has lied, and lied.
That she was not pregnant at that time, and she lied. Pregnant at that time, and she lied. Pregnant at.
All right, why don't we continue? 2 blows for Laura. We jam on. Yeah, that would be great. We can get him to do a. We could get him to do a dance to that. What's the name? Can somebody help me out with the songs? I don't even know where the songs go. Can somebody tell me where the songs go? So anyhow, we got 600 people in the chat. Make sure you hit the like button. I'm going to read the... I'm out of breath. I just ate a full dinner. She lied. Okay, so Justice for Clayton said, if you're new here, welcome to the craziest scandal in reality TV history. And by the way, you do want to get in early. Now, we covered this. I mean, I covered this on Juicy Scoop, as you'll see here. Look at this. I covered this with Juicy Scoop, Dave Neal. I covered this just a few days. I flew across the country. I'm going everywhere I can to talk about this. So if you go, look here. If we search by transcript right here, and we just search Clayton, there it is. And then we go over here to the chat room, 34 minutes. This is when I talked about it. I think that's a fair position to be in.
Very fascinating. Okay. I also want to talk about this was Clayton. He was the Bachelor. And there was a crazy story.
So if you want the full story, I mean, I've told it on multiple channels. Hey, Jenna with the $2 super chat, eating dinner and fist pumping to this banger. Thank you. Kelsos, $2. If you don't answer me, I'm having the babies. All right, somebody tell me the name of the website or text it to me. Someone said, hard night in the casita tonight, fellas. Oh, man, so funny. Danny said, this is a win for... Danny said, this is a win for you too, Dave. Fighting on the front lines for justice. Since way before it was cool. I'm going to screen grab that. That's a nice one. I appreciate that. Hold on, I'm going to screen grab that. We want to save that one. That's very kind. Makes me almost get emotional. Well, it's a win for all of us. You know, it's a win for all of us. I'm going to pull that one up right here. But thank you so much for that text message I just got right here. A win for you too, Dave. Sure. On the front lines for justice. That's all of us. Y'all were on the front lines on this one. So those might be new. Yeah, we mean he might lose his law license. I don't care what he does. I really don't care. Corinne Bunderman with the $20 super chat says Dave's dance monkey. Dave's dance money. Oh, excuse me. I thought you called me a dance monkey. Dave's dance money. Do we think Laura's watching? Who knows? Yeah, I'll text Megan. Let me tell Megan. I'll text Megan right now. Let me text Megan right now. Clayton won appeal. Yahoo. Nylon String says the GoFundMe is a new kind of low. She has no shame. It's not just fighting her, it's the fight against evil. I hear you on that one. Terry says, I'm in the air on a plane heading to Tampa hearing this great news. Oh, we're in Delta, check in. attention, ladies and gentlemen. The check engine light, the seatbelt sign is on. Not because there's any turbulence, but we want to tune in live now to Dave Neal's YouTube channel where we have a breaking news update. This is your captain speaking. Yes, that's right. We have a breaking news update. We're going to need all of you to head back to your seats and use the oxygen device over your head to make sure you don't faint when you hear this good news. Clayton Echard has been vindicated. Vindicated, baby. Oh, she's in the hospital. Oh, geez, I didn't know that. There it is. Nancy said she's not watching. She's crying in her pizza, doing arts and crafts in her pizza. Is that the casita? Oh, I missed some super chats. Okay, whoa. Oh my gosh, I did. Okay, Barbara, $5 says, what will Laura do next? Probably take this to the Supreme Court. Timothy, $10 says, lemon character, laughing out loud. Thank you. Cat Ballerina, ain't no party like a rejected appeal party. We got that one. We got Love Monica, Cat Lady, we ate lots of breadsticks. Thank you, Cat Lady. Sarah Dawn from Canada, here's to our pond, scum, posse, and breadstick money. Thank you. Dave, please release She Lied as a full song. Thank you. If you don't answer me, I'm having the babies. All right, well, we will get back to you, Kelsos. And Corinne with the 20, thank you. And Jenna with the 2, eating dinner and fist pumping. I'm making sure I'm getting all of these. And Stir Crazy with 10 Canadian says, Dave, thank you for never letting up and sticking with the story in support of her victims. We all appreciate you. Well, you know what? We actually, in that smear campaign that someone's trying to write about us, they said, why should people believe you? What gives you any credibility to cover this Justin Baldoni case? And I said, well, glad you asked. And I shared with them the Clayton story. I said, I was threatened with a massive lawsuit. I didn't back down because I knew I was doing the right thing. And I knew I would sleep well doing the right thing. And I want to thank my wife for understanding that too, understanding how important justice is and knowing and leaving space for this to play out. Sarah said it's been a long time waiting, but your hard work has paid off. All hail, Dave. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's not a cult. Just hail me. Stir Crazy with 10 Canadian. Again, thank you. And the Tiger and Phil show, $10. Thank you guys all so much. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. You guys don't have to. You guys do not have to. I appreciate you. All right, let's. You guys want to dive into it? Let's dive into it. Are we ready? I know I said this a few minutes ago. I'm asking Meg if everything's okay. I think everything's okay. All right, so let's get into it. The appeals from the Superior Court in Maricopa County. And by the way, I will be keeping up to date on who can give us a nice retweet. So far, we have 21 retweets watching on YouTube. Hopefully now that the appeal is denied, Rachel will pursue this. Yeah, there's literally no reason. And again, I mean, I truly mean this. I truly mean this. I don't want Laura Owens to be punished outside the scope of learning her lesson and changing the course of her life. I truly mean that. I don't, if her family won't step in, I mean, that's why the system exists. When all else fails, you got to lock somebody up. I think it would be the best time she's ever spent in her life, going to a low security prison and possibly learning a little bit about her psychology, because we are so lucky that someone didn't take their own life over these accusations. I mean that. I'm not being hyperbolic. We are so lucky that everyone made it out of this thing alive. I don't know how else to say it. I mean, this was a bad story, and there was a lot of suffering that happened. Not just these men, but our pal in what the fuck happened here? I'm trying to fix this. Our pal in Texas who had her ultrasound stolen. The women of these men, badass Ashley, right? We called her a badass here, I think someone told her in the comments they were so happy because she deserves her space in the lore. Ashley, Greg Gillespie's lady, who brought this to Clayton Echard's attention, was able to say, hey, that's the broad that put you through hell. Let's go make sure that we get some justice. And of course, Mike Maricini and his beautiful family, his 2 daughters, beautiful wife, and their beautiful family. May they thrive now that this is behind them. And of course, their story we still want to be told in full in a documentary, but that's for another day. Gingras, old baby Jings. Counsel, pro bono, good tax write-off, I guess, for petitioner versus Woodnick Law, who we call Daddy Woody. Owens versus Echard, decision of the court. Memorandum decision. Judge Vasquez authored the decision of the court in which presiding Judge Eckerstrom and Judge Sklar concurred. So that's 3 judges. So you got 3 judges, and just the other day, Baby Jingy tweeted that it could be a long time till the decision. I wonder if he knew. I wonder if he knew this was around the corner. Vasquez judge. In this paternity action, Laura Owens appeals the trial court's award of attorney's fees and costs in favor of Clayton Echard. She argues that Echard's failure to comply with the safe harbor requirements of Rule 26, oh boy, precluded sua sponte sanctions under any authority, and that the amount of fees awarded was unreasonable. She also argues, she's lucky it's not higher. She also argues the court committed structural error by conducting its own post-trial investigation into the facts of the case. For the following reasons, we affirm. Factual and procedural background. We view the facts in the light most favorable to sustaining the trial court's findings and order. Hefner versus Hefner. In May 2023, Owens and Echard had an intimate encounter. 2 blowjobs for Laura. 2 blowjobs. 2 blows for Laura. 2 blows. In August 2023, she filed a paternity petition alleging Echard was the father. Echard denied paternity. In December 2023, the case was placed on the administrative dismissal calendar for lack of prosecution. Echard moved to extend the dismissal date, arguing that he was entitled to an adjudication finding of non-paternity. He also requested an evidentiary hearing on the paternity issue, attorney fees, and Rule 26 sanctions. In response, Owens informed the trial court she was no longer pregnant. Oh, no! And thus there was nothing left to adjudicate, and this case should be dismissed. She simultaneously moved to dismiss the case with prejudice. Echard opposed. So if you're following along, Clayton Echard, thanks to his counsel, in part that you guys raised money for, put your money where your mouth is, got that attention. You guys came forward, put $10 cool $1,000 down, and not only was Clayton going to drop this, but he was going to say, you know what? I want to prove I'm not the father. Echard separately moved for Rule 26 sanctions, arguing Owens' petition was filed for an improper purpose. Her motion to dismiss was unsupported by existing law, and her factual contentions were not supported by evidence and did not become supported by evidence after investigation and discovery. Owens responded that Echard had not complied with Rule 26 requirements because he did not provide her with written notice of specific conduct alleged to have violated Rule 26, and that she was therefore not afforded time to cure any alleged deficiencies. Echard eventually moved to withdraw his Rule 26 motion, arguing that there was no reason to participate in the pointless litigation over this issue, notwithstanding the disagreement with Owens' legal positions on Rule 26, because Rule 26 was not the substantive pleading basis for his claims for attorney fees and sanctions. The court extended the dismissal deadline, denied Owens' motion to dismiss, and set an evidentiary hearing on the issue of sanctions and attorney's fees. After the evidentiary hearing on June of 2024, which, by the way, if you're new here, we went there live with about 100 or so people, and we had scones for breakfast, cold brews for lunch, and insure for dessert. We did it all, folks, and we rented a van where, excuse me, got some in my teeth. I literally was just eating dinner. I threw my plate aside and I said, get out of here, I gotta go. We rented a van, and Bruce and I live streamed with our good friend Lauren in the courtroom, Megan Fox, Reality Steve. It was a real who's who. After the hearing in June of 2024, the trial court granted Echard's request for attorney's fees and costs. In July, Owens filed a notice of change of judge for cause, arguing the judge was biased and had engaged in conduct that violated her right to due process. Boy, we love due process. The presiding judge denied her motion, concluding Owens had failed to prove by a preponderance of the evidence that the judge was biased or prejudiced. We, baby Jingy don't like judges to sue him. Also in July, Owens moved for relief from the judgment, or alternatively to alter or amend the judgment, which the court ultimately denied. In August, the court awarded Echard attorney's fees and costs in the amount of $149,000, $219.76. And he wants every single penny. Pay up, motherfucker. This appeal followed. We have jurisdiction. Now we go to their discussion. Boy, so many super chats. Let me just get through these super chats as we read this. Love Monica says, okay, am I getting it right? 2 blows, but no rose. There you have it. You nailed it. Unlike Laura, you nailed it. Swallow that truth. Thank you. And Jenna with $10 says, I hope you also feel vindicated for all the BS they put you through. So exciting seeing your success. When I met you, knew you deserve it even more. You're such a nice person. Keep up this good work. Thank you, Jenna. That is extremely kind. That is extremely kind. It means a lot. And we will soak it up. We will. Kay, 14 Canadian, says, very impressed with you, Dave. Your courage is inspiring. We know it'd be easier to not care or put yourself at risk for what you believe in. Celebrate the win. Celebrate, I will. And we will. Sheebs with $10 says, we did it. What? Like, it's hard? That's what she said to Clayton. It's hard. Stephanie, $10, says, congrats, Dave, and all the victims. Thanks for all your coverage on this. Followed since the beginning, sending love and support. Jenna, $2. Do you know what came with the podcast studio issue? That's a really good question, actually. And I think the podcast studio just decided to drop it. I don't know for sure, but I think they didn't want to press any charges. They just wanted to move on. Chris with $2 says, don't forget Liz Neptune, harassment on Christmas. Yeah, God bless Liz Neptune. Absolutely. Content creator in Florida. She got harassed. Lorena, good to see you. Lorena, I haven't seen you since Chicago, right? Thanks for sticking with it. You need to text everyone that covered the case with you and do a reunion episode with them. I would love that. Hey, Rob with $2 says, hey, Dave, today is my birthday. Oh, happy birthday, Rob. And Mrs. Fonte with $10. So proud to be a member of this community. This was truly a labor of love and justice for everyone involved. Take a victory lap, Dave. This wouldn't have made it to the finish line without you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I would not be doing this if it wasn't for the community that truly kept this fight alive. I had multiple times when people really, really, really stepped up to the plate and showed your support in so many different ways. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Discussion, attorney fees. Let me take a sip. Let me take a hit of this Owens are, am I getting any text messages here? I'm getting a text. Hold on. We got text coming in. Oh no, it looks like David Jingy might be going private. It looks like David Jingy may be blocking people on his Twitter. Weird stuff. Weird stuff. What can you do? When I lose, I like to lose, I like to take the loss like a man, not be a little baby old bitch about it. We want to go to the Supreme Court. No, you don't. I doubt they will. I mean, and then the Supreme Court can say, no thanks, and guess what? Then you're done. Attorney fees. Owens argues that because Echard did not comply with Rule 26's safe harbor requirement, she was shielded from any punishment arising from her alleged violation of Rule 26. And by the way, this is probably the first time she's faced a real consequence. The trial court's August 2024 judgment was not certified as final on the applicable rules. The June 2024 ruling was improperly certified, so it's just issues that don't matter. So they were trying to argue some bullshit. We reviewed the trial court's decision to award attorneys' fees and sanctions for an abuse of discretion. Owens argues that because the hearing was set in response to Echard's Rule 26 motion, and because he did not file any other motion for fees or sanctions, of course the court sanctioned her under Rule 26, relying on Rule 35A. Owens contends a fee or sanctions request must be made by separate motion. While this is true for Rule 26 sanctions, the same is not true for attorneys' fees requests. We'll explain what this means when we find out. Basically, she did a whole bunch of bullshit for nothing. Nevertheless, Echard properly requested attorney fees and costs under those authorities throughout the litigation. For example, he requested attorney's fees and costs based on Owens' unreasonableness in his motion to extend the dismissal date on the inactive calendar and schedule an evidentiary hearing, which was filed. Ruled the moving party must attempt to resolve the matter by consultation. In its ruling, the trial court ruminated about whether it could sua sponte award sanctions under Rule 26 after a party moves and then withdraws a motion. Presumably, it did so because this question was heavily litigated by the parties below. Ultimately, however, the court did not award Rule 26 sanctions. This is all over the place. Echard made the same request, as well as in an amended response to the paternity petition. Moreover, in Echard's motion to withdraw his Rule 26 motion, he argued that he was entitled to attorney's fees and costs and that his claims for fees and sanctions exist independently. Those requests were also repeated with supporting arguments in his pretrial statement. Owens argues the trial court lacked the authority to impose attorney's fees and sanctions independently from Rule 26 because Echard filed and subsequently withdrew the Rule 26 motion. And by the way, the only reason he withdrew the motion was because he was trying to just get this thing over with. 800 people in the chat. Thank you guys so much. Owens argued, and by the way, if you're new here, we got the kindest audience in the world. I promise you that. This audience ain't messing around. We're not here to snark on people. We're not here for BS. We're here for justice, humanity, and all coming together for good. This is the place you want to be. Trust me. Invest in this place. Owens argued that she maintains that Rule 26 must control and must provide the exclusive remedy for conduct that would fall under a Rule 26 violation. In support of this argument, she relies on the proposition that when two rules deal with the same subject, the more specific rule controls. But the statutes under which the court granted attorney's fees do not govern the same subject matter as Rule 26. All right. We decline to hastily find a clash between a statute and a court rule, Duff v. Lee, especially when a statute and rule govern different subjects. Owens next argues that the attorney's fees and costs awarded were improper because they were neither necessary nor reasonable. She asserts Echard's fees were literally $0 prior to November 2023, and if his counsel had simply picked up the phone in mid-December and asked her about her intentions, she would have informed him that she was no longer pregnant, and there was nothing further to litigate. Echard repeated this argument in his response to Owens' combined motion for judgment on the pleadings. Okay, so, however, there was a delay in the parties' receipts of the court's ruling. She similarly argues that Echard's decision to file the Rule 26 motion was the precipitating factor in incurring fees. She contends that if Echard had done nothing, the case would have been administratively dismissed without a single dollar of fees incurred by either side. She totally wouldn't have been a problem. Meanwhile, she's got active restraining orders against these two dudes. Unbelievable. Oh, it would have been fine. It wouldn't have cost you anything. Clayton did the right thing. Therefore, she maintains that even if her petition was unreasonable, it was not the filing itself that caused fees to be incurred, but rather Echard's choice to pursue sanctions. Oh, she's a victim. But that administrative dismissal would have been without prejudice, so would not have precluded Owens from initiating a future paternity action, nor would that dismissal have been equivalent to the order Echard sought and ultimately obtained, that he was not the father in connection with the alleged pregnancy. At any rate, none of these scenarios posited by Owens have any bearing on the propriety of the fees awarded in this case. As that determined, I love that the judges, the judges go, at the time of Echard's request for an evidentiary hearing on the paternity issues, attorney's fees, and Rule 26 sanctions, Owens had not informed him that she was going to move to dismiss the case. And in her response, all Echard had to do was give her a call. That's the problem. All she needs is a phone call. Should we call her up right now? How you doing? Are you eating a burrito? Hanging in there? In her response to Echard's request, filed simultaneously with her motion, she acknowledged that the only remaining issue was Echard's request for attorney's fees. Echard objected to Owens' motion to dismiss, arguing her avowal that she was no longer pregnant was insufficient to grant a dismissal. He also requested an adjudication that she was never pregnant, or at least that she was never pregnant by him, and an evidentiary hearing on his attorney's fees request. The trial court ultimately granted Echard's motion to extend the dismissal deadline, stating the issue of sanctions and attorney's fees remain. Owens does not challenge this ruling on appeal, and the fact that the parties incurred attorney fees because they heavily litigated these issues was within the court's discretion to consider and not something this court will re-weigh. Folks, there's one more person I think we really need to thank. And again, don't forget Reality Steve, but there's one person we need to thank. And it's the queen of Bachelor Nation, Caitlin Bristow. I need you guys to remember something. Caitlin Bristow put me on her platform when content creators were getting threatened with lawsuits by Laura Owens. If you find it in her heart, let's do it on this post right here. If you find it in her heart, send her a thank you right here from Dave Neal's community. Send her a thank you. Say you were important in getting Clayton's story out, and we thank you for that. She needs to be rewarded as much as anybody else. Let me tell you something. Caitlin Bristow has a big business on the line, and she's as justice-oriented as anybody. She's authentic. She wears her heart on her sleeve. And for that, we thank her for giving us the platform on 3 episodes, 3 or 4, on at least 3 episodes. She gave us the platform to share this story with a huge audience. So make sure you let Caitlin Bristow know that, we're here and we appreciate her. It means a lot. And she knows that. I'll send her a text after. Do we get this part? At any rate, here the trial court found Owens had acted unreasonably in the litigation by filing the case without basis or merit. Court may award attorney's fees after considering in part the reasonableness of the positions each party has taken throughout the proceedings. An applicant need not show both a financial disparity and an unreasonable opponent in order to qualify for consideration for an award. The court also found it disingenuous at best, but certainly misleading to the court that Owens had testified the purpose of her motion seeking mediation was to inform Echard the pregnancy was not viable. It further found she had failed to comply with disclosure requirements, which caused Echard to incur substantial legal fees, attempting to locate records that may or may not have existed. Again, there was at least 8 or so doctors that Clayton's attorneys had to reach out to, none of which had actually seen her. She made the appointment and canceled it, but she made it seem like she was going to these doctors. She lied to all of us. She lied. Can you believe that? She lied. Kelso's mama, $5, says, remember when Laura sent Clayton's lawyer an outrageous email before court? That's right. Yeah, she claimed that Clayton's lawyer, from his previous litigation with Greg Gillespie, she claimed they were conspiring to R-word. That was her, she was using, basically, and by the way, this is a reminder. We do this because we want to believe real victims. And in order to believe real victims, you have to hold people accountable when they use this pathway for victims to come forward to her own advantage. She used it to hurt these men. And she won a few battles, but she didn't win the war. Tonight, March 28th, 2025, she lost the war. Reading some of your comments here. She failed to comply with disclosure requirements, which caused Echard to incur substantial legal fees. The court also concluded that applied because Owens had provided false testimony as to the viability of the pregnancy and had sent Echard a letter prior to her deposition that indicated her intention to sue him for $1.4 million in collateral allegations unless he agreed to dismiss this action that she initiated. Where I've come from, we call that extortion. She tried to extort Clayton Echard. What an idiot. On appeal, these judges, they probably had to have a beer after this one. Or a burrito. On appeal, Owens does not meaningfully challenge these findings, but instead argues, okay, so now they're saying she's not even challenging what happened. And again, she can blame her attorney for that. Is she going to sue Baby Jingy? We might have to raise money for Baby Jingy if he gets sued. I'm kidding. You know what? I considered emailing him to give him some advice on his YouTube channel, but I was like, yeah, I got better things to do. So she doesn't even argue these facts. Section 25324A permits a court to order a party to pay a reasonable amount to the other party for the cost and expense of maintaining or defending any proceedings under Chapter 3 or Chapter 4. A parent is required to request such a determination in any proceedings for marital dissolution. I love that they have to call them parents. Owens petitioned the trial court for orders concerning paternity, legal decision-making, parenting time, and child support. While the court ultimately did not issue legal decision-making and parenting time orders, Echard defended any proceedings under Chapter 4, Article 1 of this title by virtue of Owens' petition, as was reflected. Even assuming the trial court's fee award was improper because of the case's procedural posture, the court's findings would have supported a fee under a fee award under 25809G. See Forrest v. Rodriguez, Appeals Court 2006, we may affirm trial court if legally correct for any reason. Echard cited this in seeking attorney fees, so the issue is also properly before the court. The language largely mirrors this and permits a court to order a party to pay a reasonable amount to the other party for the costs and expenses of maintaining or defending any paternity proceedings. We reject Owens' suggestion that this paternity action somehow transformed into some other type of proceeding because the parties only incurred fees after it was scheduled for administrative dismissal without prejudice. The court did not err in awarding attorney's fees. The trial court also properly awarded fees and costs as a sanctions under 25415. The court found that fees under this statute were appropriate because Owens had knowingly violated a court order compelling disclosure or discovery. Owens argues she fully complied with the court's disclosure order, as was demonstrated by the fact Echard never brought any motion seeking sanctions. She argues because no motion had been filed, she did not have the opportunity to prove she fully complied with this court's order. That does not require the filing of a separate motion, as previously noted. Echard requested relief under the statute. Section 25415A3 states that the court shall sanction a litigant for costs and reasonable attorney's fees incurred by an adverse party if the court finds that the litigant violated a court order compelling disclosure or discovery. Well, I would argue she violated disclosure since they ended up she sent them on a goose hunt, on a wild goose chase. Here the court made such a finding, thus it was required to sanction Owens for the costs and reasonable attorney's fees Echard had incurred. Owens does not meaningfully challenge that finding. Again, the court did not err in awarding Echard his costs and reasonable attorney's fees. On appeal, Owens also claims that the amount of the fee award was unreasonable. The substance of her argument is that below she had noted the amount of fees was patently unreasonable in light of the controlling standard of ethical rule. But because she fails to identify with any particularity what evidence supports her argument, we conclude that the court did not abuse its discretion in fixing the amount of attorney's fees it awarded Echard. She fails to identify with any particularity what evidence supports. Yeah, that's the problem with Laura Owens. She fails to find the evidence to support any of her claims. Denial of motion for relief from judgment. Owens argues that the trial court erred by denying her motion for relief from judgment. Alternatively, to alter or amend the judgment, we reviewed the denial of such motions for an abuse of discretion. Because Owens does not argue how the court erred in denying her motion, but instead asserts that the only available remedy is automatic reversal because the misconduct is per se structural error of the most obvious kind, we do not address the court's denial of her motion. Judicial bias. We're almost done, folks. Owens argues the trial court improperly performed an independent and undisclosed investigation into the facts of this case, and from this investigation made post-trial findings not based on the evidence admitted at trial. In the findings of fact section of its ruling, the court stated that Echard's expert had testified that Planned Parenthood is not open on Sundays, when Owens testified she sought care July 2nd, a Sunday. The parties agreed the expert did not testify that Planned Parenthood is closed on Sundays, and that the court's findings was therefore erroneous. Instead, they dispute which standard of review should apply. Owens argues this amounted to structural error requiring automatic reversal because it proves the trial judge was biased, as shown by the judge's decision to engage in unlawful conduct which violated her right to due process. Conversely, Echard argues that the controlling standard for alleged mistakes in family law proceedings is harmless error. Yeah, it was a harmless error. They caught her lying. Structural error is generally applied in criminal cases and is error that affects the framework within which the trial proceeds, rather than simply an error in the trial process itself. The Supreme Court has refined relatively few instances in which we should regard error as structural, but one of those instances is a biased trial judge. We nevertheless decline to apply a structural error analysis given the record before us. Here, Owens moved for a change of judge for cause under Rule 6.1 on the basis of bias and prejudice within the meanings. The presiding judge denied her motion. While acknowledging that the trial judge's findings about Planned Parenthood's business hours was clearly erroneous, the presiding judge concluded that Owens had failed to show by a preponderance of the evidence that this finding reflected bias or prejudice against her. Owens contends that we need not separately decide whether the presiding judge erred when she denied Owens' notice of change of judge for cause, because the requested relief is subsumed within the structural error arguments that we must review de novo. But as we explained below, the record does not show that the trial judge was biased. Thus, even assuming without deciding that structural error applies in family cases, it did not occur. And the presiding judge did not abuse her discretion in denying Owens' motion for change of judge for cause. Owens argues the trial judge's erroneous findings of fact demonstrated it was biased and therefore committed structural error. Her argument is based on conjecture. She does not provide any evidence showing actual bias. Her claim of bias is based on her assertion that the court intentionally tried to conceal its misconduct in performing its own post-trial investigation into the facts by falsely attributing the testimony to Echard's expert. Owens claims this is the only plausible conclusion, given that online supporters of Echard had vociferously posted about this issue online hours after the trial ended. These unsupported and speculative allegations failed to meet her burden to prove bias by a preponderance of the evidence. Wah. And by the way, the only reason this came up is because she lied. Remember that? She lied. And if she didn't lie,
bye, loser,
none of this would have happened.
She lied?
Owens further contends that any independent factual investigation by a trial judge is unlawful and shows bias. But for structural error review to apply, the type of judicial bias that must be shown is that which implicates a party's due process rights, such as bias based on a direct, personal, substantial pecuniary interest. None of those are grounds here. We therefore review for an abuse of discretion. While a trial court's reliance on extrajudicial information may give rise to a claim of judicial bias apart from any structural error, the critical inquiry that would require reversal is whether the conduct demonstrates an extrajudicial source of bias or deep-seated favoritism. Owens correctly notes that the court mistaken trial testimony, but she is incorrect in asserting that because harmless error analysis does not apply, she does not need to make a separate showing of resulting prejudice. Prejudice will not be presumed but must be evidenced by the record. Unless justice requires otherwise, an error by the court or a party is not grounds for disturbing a judgment or order. Therefore, even if the court conducted independent research under a prejudice analysis, we would still have to determine whether Planned Parenthood's business hours were vitally important to the court's ultimate conclusions, as Owens claims. However, Owens does not argue prejudice. Consequently, the presiding judge did not err in denying Owens' motion for change of judge for cause. The record does not show judicial bias, and Owens does not challenge any of the presiding judge's rulings under the appropriate standards for appellate review. Attorney's fees on appeal. We're almost done. Owens and Echard reviewed their attorney's fees and costs under appeal. Echard additionally requested fees and costs under both statutes, blah, blah, blah. So there it is. While the record does not support a disparity in the parties' financial resources, Owens' position on appeal is unreasonable. Her Rule 26 argument is not grounded in law or fact, just like her babies. Likewise, her assertion that the trial judge was biased and committed structural error does not meaningfully address the trial court's ruling below and also ignores the applicable jurisprudence. Yeah, basically, they were going to rule against her anyway. Disposition. For the foregoing reasons, we affirm the trial court's judgment. Case motherfucking closed. That's it, folks. And I want to remind you guys something. Laura Owens was really good. She was really, really good at terrorizing these guys. Matt, Mike, Greg, other Greg, Clayton, even myself. She was really, really good at getting her way. Until we came by. And then the tides not only turned, they hit the levees. And the levees didn't break. And we held up the wall of justice. Every single one of you. And many others. Every view, every like, every super chat, every GoPro donation, every retweet. Every brick that was involved in laying down the law is thanks to you guys. It's thanks to Reality Steve, Caitlin Bristow. It's thanks to, of course, the victims that continue to speak out. It's thanks to those that donated to Mike Maricini's laptop, which proves she lied about cancer, proves she lied about DV, proves she lied about a lot of things. You guys together deserve this lap. Final super chats. Deb with $5 says, met you a year ago today in Scottsdale with Clayton. March 28th, a day to celebrate. Thanks for all you do. Was that a year ago? Oh my gosh. That's right. I was here 1 year ago. What a fun time that was. And then $2 by Lamb2M. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you guys. I'm trying to see if I missed any. I think I got all of the super chats. Thank you. Going to catch up on a couple of your comments if I can, and then I'm going to call it a night. Timmy the dog says, let's get these restraining orders dismissed. She still has restraining orders against all the men. All of them. And when I find out what these guys want to do, I'll be there when I find out what we want to do. I'll show you guys this, actually. Give me a second here. I'll play a clip of my entrance. I think this is only on YouTube, but let me switch accounts. I'll play, 1 year ago. Oh, wrong one. 1 year ago, we came together. I can't believe that was a year ago. That makes me feel crazy that there was a full year ago where I did my Scottsdale show. So let me show you my channel here. Videos. Let's see if I can find my YouTube studio. I'll find this video for you guys. This is I've only showed this with the Patreon. Here it is.
Our next guest, he is the host of the Bachelor Rush Hour podcast.
1 year ago.
Recently featured in Time Magazine. You know him, I love him. Let's get on the stage, Dave Neal!
There it is. That's right. Oh, look. Some of you guys are in the audience right there. Yeah, so I did a couple Laura Owens jokes.
All right, keep it going for Paul. Let him hear it, everybody. Make some noise.
I'll just show you the first minute or two.
And make some noise for all the other comics you saw tonight. Give it up for them, right? All right.
There's Bruce.
Give it up for all the wasted bitches in the front. Let it hear. I could hear you talking from the green room already. I fucking love it. Sit down already. I'm going to be selling merch, just straight jackets for you. Get out of here. Yeah, it's been a weird year. Featured in Time Magazine. Here we are. Yeah, I got featured in Time Magazine and then sued for harassment. Give it up for that. Aren't those the two most American things you can do, right? I was eating apple pie as I was getting featured and sued at the same time. Like, go USA on that one. Sucks getting sued by a self-help podcaster. That sucks. I mean, she was helping herself to my money, so there you go. Got sued by a lady who rides horses. Why are horsewomen the most unstable out there? Like, literally, it said in the Time feature, it said, "You're gonna love Dave Neal unless your name's Laura Owens." That's what it said.
There it is. So I got that. That's a 30-minute. Actually, I don't have the Clayton. I also interviewed Clayton, but did I ever share that? Maybe I never shared the interview with Clayton. Either way, that's that. You can go. I've got that on Patreon, but that's all you need to see there. But yeah, no, that was a year ago. That was 1 year ago. And yes, Bruce. Oh, Bruce. Yeah, Bruce. Of course, so helpful there. Let me see. Yeah, he's in there. See, where's Bruce? He's in there somewhere. Bruce is probably wasted. He was probably having a good time. How do I get to Bruce? Let me see if I can find him here. Yeah, there he is. There he is, right there. There he is, right there. Who else is in there? Kat. There's a lot of people. We got some people wearing the merchandise. You guys were fantastic. I appreciate it. It means a lot. And again, that's going to probably wrap it up right now for us for this amazing night. Hey, Susan, good to see you. I see you in the chat. I said her name in her hometown. Yeah. Yep, it's shared on Patreon. If anyone didn't get it, we'll pass it along there. I don't know if I have a clip of my Q&A with Clayton. I probably never share that. It's all right, whatever, it doesn't matter. But yeah, that's good news. So big news. And if you haven't already, if you came to the channel late, you can retweet. He won reasonable fees for the appeal too, right? If I understood the ruling. Yep, he won extra fees, I think. So anyway, if you haven't already, give this a retweet. Let Rachel Mitchell know we're watching her, and we hope she does the right thing. And, look, I mean, Laura Owens is entitled to defend herself if they decide to prosecute her, but I think they have plenty to prosecute her on. And, her family has enabled her to abuse these men for too long, and we don't stand by it. So thank you guys all so much for the support. It means a lot. Mommy Breakdown says, justice may be delayed, but it will not be denied. No, it won't. Oh, Joan, thank you. Says you're a hero. Oh, I'm not. This is, this just was an example where something was going down in our neck of the woods, and we rejected it. We rejected it with compassion. We tried our best to do the right thing with as minimal as a collateral damage as possible. But if Laura Owens having to deal with the consequences of her own actions is collateral damage, then so fucking be it. As much as, would I feel bad if she goes to prison? My hope is that it would break down whatever psychological thing is going on and free her from whatever shackles she's under to need to control people. My hope is that wherever they send her, if they do, it involves a good psychology run through, and they're able to try to reform her. And the best thing she could ever do, now that she's got to pay this bill, is just share her true story. Talk about it, but really talk about it. Talk about it in a way where we're no longer calling you out for your lies, but we're like, damn, she's telling the truth. She's explaining why she did all of this. Wouldn't we love to hear that? VDC says, great work on this, Dave. You helped change the life of these men from the constant nightmare. The best reward I got for this entire thing, the best satisfaction I got, was hearing from several of the victims' wives and moms. We met Clayton's mom that night. And I got the hug I got from Clayton's dad. Let me tell you something. That was special. You don't hear from these guys every day, but they know what y'all did. They know you didn't have to. In a world where everyone's online trying to do their own thing, trying to make their own thing happen, you guys all came together with nothing to gain other than to try to stop this madness. You had nothing to gain. If I could just sort of share with you those hugs I received, because those belong to you guys, from Clayton's dad and mom, from Mike's wife, from Greg's lady, they understood the power of what this community did. They'll never forget. Well, that's going to wrap it up for me. We'll have more to cover. There'll be more that comes from this. We might have a prosecution pretty soon. It could be that they were ready to go and they were just waiting and they're going to slap it down. Or not. But I tell you what, the clock's ticking on Rachel Mitchell to do the right thing. The clock is ticking. That's it for me. I have a great podcast coming out in the morning. I interviewed Vanderpump Robs. We talked about reality TV. It was a fun one. We talked about Scandival and Bravo TV shows, and we talked about The Bachelor. So if you want to just hear a nice guilt-free conversation about reality TV, I'll have that up tomorrow. Susan says your emotional commitment and dedication for the well-being of others. Well, I appreciate all the support you guys are flowing to me, and I just send it right back at all of you guys. I'm proud to be in the community. Hey, Sarai, good to see you. I'm proud to be here. Teresa gave me a good cheeseburger just a few nights ago. Unbelievable cheeseburger. And yeah, Jane Bloweth for jail 2025. Well, I'll be the first to send her a nice bar of soap. I don't know, whatever. Maybe she can read some true crime while she's in there. We'll continue to share this story and keep bringing attention to it as we share the other stories. And we'll continue to try to, be out here making sense of it all. All right. It's been a fun one. I appreciate you giving me the chance to take a little bit of a victory lap. God knows we all needed to hear it.
At that time, and she lied to Judge Gail Katsas in that proceeding, then I think that's sanctionable, and Your Honor could enter orders under that proceeding. So I'm asking Your Honor to take that jurisdiction, but to hear that matter concurrently.
And so here we are where she has lied, and lied.
Hey, let's dance. The beat. And move it, and groove it. And everybody move your feet and dance, motherfucker. Dance, motherfucker. Chug that monster.
And she lied to Judge Gail Katsas in that proceeding.
All right, folks, that's it for me. Have a good one. Have a nice weekend, everybody. Catch you later. Bye.
Jurisdiction, but to hear that matter concurrently.
And so here we are where she has lied, and lied.
There it is, FBI. God bless you. Thanks for doing your job, everybody.
That she was not pregnant at
Talk to you
that
later.
time, and she lied.
Bye.